Hi everyone, Fiona Pearman and Kate Borra. And this week we're digging into focus, mindfulness, and its impact on confidence. And we know that we're all looking for ways in which to enhance our confidence, to have more confidence in different situations. But often we're really distracted. There's a lot going on. We've got constant reminders binging at us, notifications. We're multitasking. We're trying to get lots of things done. And all of this activity tends to trigger our nervous system. It tends to trigger us into a certain state of anxiety. We can feel a bit overwhelmed. We can even get to burnout. So we know that it's really important to deal with this.
Yeah, I think, um, when all of that stuff is coming at us, right? Our brain can almost be hypervigilant, our nervous system compromised. And when we're in that state, it is very hard to be efficient, effective, to deliver our great work, to be receptive, maybe to feedback that maybe isn't, you're amazing. So some constructive feedback. It's hard to be present and we always talk about see what's not being heard, to be able to um, be present to other people and their needs, and equally your needs, right? You can run straight past, you can miss some of the cues around, I need to slow down and pay attention here, or actually there's something going on there that I've missed. So there's a lot that we can miss when we're in that kind of hyper vigilant, heightened, often kind of low grade anxiety, nervousness sitting beneath the system, that can really show up and impact our confidence, and it can impact our productivity, and importantly, it can impact our well-being.
Mm. I think one of the things to recognize is when we're in this state, when we are distracted, when we're unable to focus, when we're unable to be present to what's going on, we don't do our best work. Often, as Kate was saying, our efficiency and productivity suffers, and that really undermines our confidence. It makes us feel as though we're not contributing. We know we've got talent. We know we've got things to say. We know we've got good work to be done, but we're not getting it done. And the not getting it done does directly undermine how we feel about ourselves. And we're often not able to take in what's going on around us. And that can make us feel less competent and less confident in our interactions with others. Now, this compounded over time, happening week after week. We meet a lot of women who have got great skills and experience, but their day-to-day interactions are causing them to feel less and less confident in their workplace. And that's a huge loss for them, but it's also a big loss for their organizations. So I think when we are able to recognize this, there's huge advantages for us. And the first step to start to become more focused, to be more present, is to get some awareness around it, to notice what's going on for you, to notice what's distracting you, to notice the way you get pulled into things and drawn into things that potentially aren't that important or aren't that important right now. We know that there's a big piece around practicing mindfulness, being able to engage with ways that allow us to de-escalate, to calm our nervous system. That might be breath work, it may be taking regular walks, it might be in making sure we're in nature regularly, slowing down. And all of those ways we calm ourselves are really powerful in enabling us to be more focused.
Yeah, it's really important that we have our toolkit, right? Of the strategies that allow us to be fully present, and aware of what's going on, what's being said, what's not being said, what am I noticing in my nervous system? All of these sorts of things, all of this intel that's available to us when we are present in the moment, when we are busy, distracted, and not, we kind of head down and very often task focused. We can lose sight of a lot of different pieces. And so having your strategies, your tools around how do you bring yourself into a conscious, present, and aware state is really critical. It'll be different, right, for everybody. And which is why finding having ways that you can do that regularly over the course of the day, especially when you're in conversation and communication. We know that it's easy to make assumptions. It's easy to absent-mindedly run over perhaps some key pieces of information that might be critical to the effectiveness and efficiency of communication, but importantly, the effectiveness. When we are kind of in that really distracted, absent-minded state, or in our not present state. And so creating some of those strategies that allow you to come back to that. We love this piece around carving out focus time. We call that distraction-free time, where you can be free of texts, phone messages, Slack messages, emails, all those sorts of things. So you can be present and focused and work on something, whether that's for 40 minutes, 60 minutes, a couple of times a day. That allows you to execute. And importantly, it allows you, your nervous system, to not kind of be worrying about all of this other stuff. Now, some of the things that get in the way when we, create that focus time is we have to say no. Right? We have to say no to emails, no to answering that text, or no to responding in an immediate way, which is what many of us have those sorts of strategies. We might need to say no to meetings. There's lots of different things that we're going to have to retrain. We have to retrain our focus and retrain and really meet some of the actions, decisions that will require us to be able to allow us to transition from that busy, active, kind of hypersensitive state, and often very triggered and reactive state, to allow us to step into, what our very good friend Adam Fraser calls the flow state, or the focus state.
Yeah, I think this is the great opportunity, and this is why it's worth it. It's worth understanding how distracted you might be, how your focus is often taken away, and how you're not as present and mindful as you need to be in order to do that great work. It definitely makes life more flowful. The more we practice mindfulness, the more we get present, we have a more spacious sense to life. Like, we've got more capacity. We actually can achieve so much more, and we can respond to demands and to feedback and things with a lot more consideration, which leads to a sense of real confidence. As I'm able to take things in, as I'm able to consider how I respond, as I do that as elegantly, as gracefully as possible, I feel as though I'm doing something worthwhile, and that fuels my inner confidence. That reinforces my value and the way in which I interact with others. And I think the really exciting piece here is when we show up like that, when we're leaders or when we're part of a team, and we show up with more resourced, more willing to be mindful, to consider what we need in order to do great work. When we do that and we talk about it, that creates a ripple effect for others. They get this sense that it's important to do this. If I'm going to do the really important work, I'm actually going to have to protect some time and look after it so that I can do and I can be really focused.
Yeah, lots to practice in this space. We always talk about starting small, to pay attention, to be aware of where you are in that kind of busy, heightened, anxious, distracted state. And then start to practice tools, strategies. This is very about building habits, would be my, my entryway into the conversation around how I do this for myself. Looking at what are some of the habits, the mindful habits, the focus habits you can start to create, nurture in your daily life, that will allow you to have on-ramps into this space of awareness, mindfulness, focus, and that will allow you to be present to some of the great work that you can do, some of the incredible thinking that is available to you in your brain, and then that really deep sense of confidence that's within your body when you open up the pathway to be able to stay connected to it. Team, we're going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, we'd love for you to make a note below, or contact us, or drop a comment. Of course, if you know someone, and I reckon everyone could benefit from this confidence conversation, we'd love for you to share this with people in your network. You can share either this or our YouTube link that we'll make sure is below. And if and when you're ready to go deeper with your relationship with core confidence, if you want some support around setting boundaries and saying no with confidence, which today's topic really talks to, head over to our website, coreconfidence.com.au.